What's up guys, it's the Fabled Menace here, and today we will be talking about the newest Dendro 5-star in Genshin, Emilie. Now starting with her elemental skill, Fragrance Extraction, which creates a Luminous case that does AoE Dendro damage. The Luminous case fires puffs of pure dew at nearby opponents, dealing Dendro damage. When opponents are affected by burning, they give off scents. One scent can be created every 2 seconds. The Luminous case levels up to level 2 after gathering 2 scents. One extra puff of pure dew will be fired at Luminous case level 2. However, if Luminous case is at level 2 and does not get any scents for 8 seconds while on field, the case will go back to level 1. Now for her elemental burst, Aromatic Explication, which will create a level 3 Luminous case. This level 3 case will not gather nearby scents and will continuously cause scented dew to descend, dealing Dendro damage. During this time, one drop of scented dew will descend every 0.3 seconds, and one opponent can become the target every 0.7 seconds. When the duration ends, a level 1 Luminous case will be recreated. Next up, we have her passive talents, starting with Lingering Fragrance, which is each time a level 2 Luminous case collects 2 scents, it will release Clear Dew Cologne. That deals AoE Dendro damage equal to 600% of Emilie's attack to opponents. This damage is not considered elemental skill damage. Second up, we have Rectification. Emilie deals increased damage to burning opponents based on her attack, with every 1000 attack increasing damage dealt by 15%. The maximum damage bonus that can be gained is 36%. And lastly, we have Headspace Capture, which is when the Luminous case is on field, all party members gain a 85% Pyro res against burning damage. Her talent upgrade recommendations is Elemental Skill, then Elemental Burst, and normal attack level up if needed. Now onto our artifacts, her best in slot being Unfinished Reverie. A 2-piece set of this will gain a 18% attack, and a 4-piece, after leaving combat for 3 seconds, damage dealt increased by 50%. If no damage opponents are nearby for more than 6 seconds, this damage will decrease by 10% per second until it reaches 0. When a burning opponent exists, it will increase by 10% instead until it reaches 50%. This effect still triggers if the equipping character is off field. Now, for Sans, you will be looking for attack percentage. Her goblet will be Dendro damage bonus, and her circlet will either be crit rate or crit damage depending on the weapon or the substats. And lastly, for substats, you will be looking at attack percentage, crit rate, crit damage, and energy regen. If you don't have the Unfinished Reverie in a 4-piece, another good 4-piece to run on her would be the Golden Troops, which at a 2-piece increases elemental skill damage by 20%, and at a 4-piece increases elemental skill damage by 25%. Additionally, when not on field, elemental skill damage will be further increased by 25%. This effect will be cleared 2 seconds after taking the field. And the last substitute set we will talk about is Deepwood Memories. At a 2-piece, it will increase your Dendro damage bonus by 15%, and at a 4-piece, after elemental skill or burst hits opponents, the target's Dendro res will be decreased by 30% for 8 seconds. This effect can be triggered even if the equipping character is not on field. And lastly, if you do not have a full 4-piece, then any 2-piece with attack percentage will work. Now onto our weapons. Her besting slot being Lumido's Elegy and main stat being crit rate. The passive for this weapon is attack increased by 15%. After the equipping character triggers burning on an opponent or deals dendro damage to burning opponents, the damage dealt is increased by 18%. This effect can last for 8 seconds, max 2 stacks. When 2 stacks are reached, or when the duration is refreshed at 2 stacks, it restores 12 energy. Energy can be restored this way once every 12 seconds. The 2 effects can be triggered even when the character is off field. The next weapon we will be talking about is the Primordial Jadewing Spear. Main stat being crit rate, and the passive is on hit increases attack by 3.2% for 6 seconds, max 7 stacks. This effect can only occur once every 0.3 seconds. While in possession of the maximum possible stacks, damage dealt is increased by 12%. Next weapon we will be speaking about is the Calamity Queller, main stat being attack percentage. The passive for this weapon is gains 12% all elemental damage bonus. Obtain consummation for 20 seconds after using an elemental skill, causing attack to increase by 3.2% per second. This attack increase has a maximum of 6 stacks. When the character equipped with this weapon is not on field, consummation's attack increase is doubled. Next weapon up is the Missive Wind Spear. I just like to say that this was an event weapon, main stat being attack percentage, and the passive for this weapon, within 10 seconds after an elemental reaction is triggered, attack is increased by 24% and elemental mastery is increased by 96%. And the last weapon we will be looking at is the Favonius Lance. Main stat being energy recharge, and the passive for this weapon is crit hits have a 100% chance to generate a small amount of elemental particles which will regenerate 6 energy to the character. Can only occur every 6 seconds. And lastly, really good pyro characters to run with Emilie would be Arlecchino, Diluc, Wu Tao, Garming, Shangling, Toma, and Bennett. I will now be showing a small showcase on Emilie, but if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Fresh and floral! Everybody stand back!
Fallen leaves adorn my
Reconstitute!
wind strike. Laid bare.